All right. Here we are. Okay. We're live for a late night stream because I was waiting on parts. Let me fix that camera just a little bit. There we go. Don't want the top of my head cut off by the camera over there. All right, we'll give it a minute to let people show up before we get started. Gonna give it a minute here, let people roll in. It's a late start tonight, so you know the usual folks might not be here, but that's okay. All right, well, let's talk about tonight's build. So first, we've got a Ryzen 7 9700X. We've got the Radeon RX 9070. This is the non-XT model. Got 3 terabytes of storage, 48 gigabytes of RAM, no, 32 gigabytes of RAM. Put the wrong ones in there because the customer changed his mind at the last minute. All white AIO, some white Corsair fans, some white cable extensions. We've got the X870 Pro RS Wi-Fi from ASRock, and then we've got an 850 watt power supply also from ASRock. And then all of this is going to go inside of a white Corsair 3500X, which I haven't taken out of the box yet, apparently. So I better do that right now. How's everybody doing tonight? What's going on? Bit of a late start. I had to wait on a part to show up tonight before I could build this. So we're on a bit of a tight deadline on this one. Yo, what up, Shark? How we doing? Gotta get the case out of here. Apparently I forgot to do that. Welcome in, welcome in. Grabbing the case out of the box real quick because somehow I forgot to do that. All right. Now we can get started. Let's do it. It's already 8 o'clock. I gotta get going on this thing. Alrighty. Okay, got our Wi-Fi antennas there. Don't need those right now. Alright, here's our ASRock motherboard in white. Start to notice the theme here. This is going to be a nice bright white PC build. It's going to look amazing. And first thing to go in, the Ryzen 7 9700X. 8 cores, 16 threads, boosts up to like 5.4 gigahertz. Ballin'. Ballin'. Okay, here we go. 9700X installed. Let's get our, let's get some peels off here. I don't know that we have very many. I feel like that's the only one. Yep, just that one. All right, let's get our first SSD in here. Yo, what up, Deadfish? How we doing? All right, first we got a 1 terabyte Gen 4 SSD from Team Group. This thing does about 7,000 read-write speed. This plastic is the worst. There we go. Okay, got that in there. Get our heat sink back on. Okay, let's get our 2 terabyte installed now. Where are the people? I don't know. I mean, this is multiple hours later than I usually start my stream, so I think it might be a little bit quieter today. Although Twitch is always pretty quiet. Yeah, that's where most people tend to be. But yeah, I think it's going to be pretty quiet all around tonight, probably. Just because we started so late. That normally, like, I'm done streaming by the time we just started tonight. But we're on a bit of a deadline with this build, so we had to just hop in and do it since all the parts showed up this afternoon. There we go. I gotta watch to see how you put the fans on the 3500X. Okay. Sounds good. I will show you that. All right, so we got all that in there. Let's get our RAM in there. The nice bright white RAM. I actually have the wrong one linked in my description, but it's okay. At the last minute on the RAM, and I apparently didn't re-update my spec list. What up, Zach? How we doing? Dude, the white motherboard looks pretty good. Okay, got that. Let's check our AIO, how it mounts to this motherboard. Okay, so we do have some bolts for this. Got our AM4, AM5 thing there. Got that. Definitely gonna need those. Definitely gonna need that. At least some of it. Probably gonna need that. Okay. All right. Put our standoffs on there. And I think those go outwards. Let's just double check. Nope, they go in towards the CPU. See, that's why you check these things. Okay, got that one installed. Let's get this other bracket installed. Kind of quiet out there. What's everybody up to? How are we doing on this fine Monday evening? There we go. That is everything that's going into that motherboard. Scooch this over to the side. We'll get our case out here. right. If you like the white motherboard, you're gonna love this. Beautiful white Corsair 3500X. What's up, Allie? How we doing? Simba, what's up? All right. Get this motherboard in here. Okay. Get our bolts out. What do you think, Simba? It's gonna look pretty cool. I do. All right. GPU support bracket, motherboard bolts, actual GPU support bracket, bolts for the fans. There we go. Doing good. Good to hear that. Looking real clean. Oh yeah, buddy. It's only gonna get better. You got one extra RS 120, right? Yeah. Yeah, we could. He could have bought more if he wanted to fill these two spots. I can't seem to find him in singles, so he would have to pay for a full new set. But what we are gonna do, he bought 2 3-packs, so we're gonna replace the fans on the CPU cooler so that all the fans in the case match. So it should look pretty cool. Your 5070 is working good, gets very loud sometimes. Yeah, that'll happen when it gets hot. That's why it's important to have good case cooling, good case airflow. Yours isn't in a case. I have $10,001. You have $10,000. I want advice on what is the best collection for this value. You can, for $10,000 US, you can buy anything you want. If you're not talking US dollars, then I don't know. Hopefully by the end of the week, let's go. Yeah, it is really nice to have all the fans be exactly the same. It looks really good. On more budget-friendly PCs, I don't usually worry about it too much because it's just not worth, you know, spending 50 or 100 bucks to do that on. But he really wanted to do it, so we did it. Oops. All right, there we go. Motherboard's installed. Good to go there. What up, Nolan? How we doing? Okay. Believe it or not, this is the second PC I've built tonight, sort of. I had a local customer, this is also for a local customer, but I had a local customer come in with some issues on his PC. After a bunch of diagnostic work, figured out that it was something wrong with the case. So we basically just rebuilt it from one case to the other. All right. But I'll have a video for that at some point. Okay, let's switch to that. Switch you guys to that. I'll be sending you pictures of the computer once it's in the case. Oh, nice. Can I have the CPU cooler fans? You can buy them for a few bucks. I mean, like, gotta at least cover cost of shipping and stuff. Okay. Actually, I found that this one works better for this. Okay. What up, Miguel? How we doing? How much for Canada shipping? Oh, shoot. That's a great question. I don't know how much that would cost. I mean, it's only... we'd have to look it up and give you an exact price. I don't know off the top of my head. Okay. Got our GPU support in there, which is great. Let's fix these fans now. Okay, then we need to fix these ones too. Oh. Okay. All right, there's that. Get the rest of these cables plugged in. Okay. Start with our HD audio over here. Best budget 1440p GPU. Either the Intel Arc B580 or probably the new RTX 5060 Ti 16 gig. If you're looking at new stuff. Where's our USB 3? Oh, it's all the way up there. Okay. Okay. Got our USB 3.2 in here. Glad you popped onto my feed again. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well, Kyle. How are you? Guy's name is literally Stalin. Interesting. It's your dream. This build is 0. Acer is your favorite? Favorite for what? It's a pretty sweet build. 0. I'm not gonna lie. It's a pretty sweet build. Alright. Let's get some stuff going on down here. That guy. And our RGB right there. Okay. Got 2 RGB cables there. That's good to know. Or RGB ports, I guess I should say. Alright. Let's pull out some of our cable guys here. Start cleaning this up right away. Okay. Wow. Okay. So relaxing to do, so relaxing to watch. Thanks so much for doing this. Hey, you know, I mean, I get paid to do this, so I'm definitely happy to do it. That's for sure. I enjoy doing it, but it's also nice, you know, getting paid to do something you enjoy. Okay, so here's all that connected. Let's get this bottom fan in there. I heard the B5A lost a lot of performance with budget CPUs. Yeah, I don't know what level of CPU you need to get good performance on it, to be honest. But if you're trying to game in 1440, you don't want a super cheap CPU either. Because it's not just the GPU that's important, the whole system is important. Oh, this is the older version with the longer cables. Cool. All right. I need these bolts here. Okay. Quality and performance. You're a network guy. Every day is playtime. There you go. Yo, what up, Omnistic? How we doing? Do you know GPU backplates void warranty? I think they do, because usually one of the I don't know. Are you just trying to are you just putting like a vanity backplate over the top of it, or are you trying to replace the backplate completely? Because I think that would be two different answers. But I think if you take the whole backplate off, then yeah, probably. Come on. Such a pain. Why do they have to make it so difficult to reach down, dear? Okay. That one through there. There we go. There we go. Local micro center is 250 miles away. Doesn't feel very local. What was my first PC? I mean, first gaming PC as an adult I built myself, so. Get hands on PCs that are being recycled. Yeah, I don't know of any school that does that, to be honest. Can't do a white build. I know it's hot now, but I go for underrated and stealth. Yeah, that's fair. I love a good stealth build. I actually have a couple of build quotes out for some stealth builds, so we'll see if we actually get them. Oh yeah, 9th and 10th gen. I mean, that's old though, you know? Like, yeah. Even if you're on a Nvidia GPU with that CPU, like, it's gonna be seriously bottlenecked. You can't just blame the GPU on that. Stop. I don't think a vanity backplate would cause any issues with warranty. Like if you just put it on top. Because usually they're like magnetic and stuff, so it doesn't, you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even be able to tell. Could be getting so many good parts like CPU, SSD, and RAM. The school sends them off to some Colorado company. Yeah, they probably make money doing that. Stealth build with that all black 5090 you got would be magnifico. That would be pretty cool. How do fan headers and splitters work? I mean, it's just, the splitters are just an electrical connection. So it basically just creates a single circuit between multiple things. Wow, really? Black bolts with white fans? Come on, Corsair. I just looked on my personal 3500X. Why do the bottom fans get threaded? Just because there's not good access to them, I think. Like there's very easy access to the back fans. But the bottom fan, there's not good access to it. It's not easy to do. So it's just ease of building. And same with this one, like there is no direct access underneath the ones that sit on top of the PSU shroud. So if they didn't give you threaded holes, there's no way you would ever install them. All right, got those installed. So we're gonna get these things daisy chained up here. So where is that daisy chain at? Here? Where's this guy? Like that, and like that. And then this guy, go to this guy. This guy is going to go to this guy. So now all of the case fans that are in here are all going to be controlled by a single port, which is pretty convenient. All right, I'm just going to run this over to here for now. Okay. Okay. That mischief is mostly managed at this point. Okay, a little bit of extra cable length laying around in here, but we can take care of that later on. There we go. All right, let's bolt in our power cables because we've got power extensions for this build. So let's bolt those in, or plug those in, not bolt them in, plug them in. Yeah, what up, Lance? Yeah, late night PC build. Oh my gosh, would you stop? How are you screwing in the RS120? It's not threaded. Pretty much every fan is comes with thread cutting bolts. So they don't come with threads in them. The bolts that they come with cut threads into the plastic. That's how basically every case fan works. All right, that's a 6. That's a GPU. That's a GPU. CPU and motherboard. Don't need these guys. Alright. Came with some nice little combs here, so we'll use those. I need a PC, but I can't afford it. I have payment plans on my website. Otherwise, I don't know what I could do for you there. Move my Lee and Lees around so much the plastic's breaking apart in the fans. Yeah, not really designed to be disconnected and reconnected, or like unbolted and rebolted like lots of times, unfortunately. All right, so we got that. Get our motherboard power cable here, so it's gonna go like that. Thankfully, these are going in very easily. I've had some of these cable extension, like the combs are just such a pain to get in there, but these are going pretty easily. I have a fan on my back that never spins, but I was told that it's not needed, so my guess it's more of an emergency deal when it does. Sounds like whoever built it just didn't do it right. Or it died, I don't know. It's not a custom wire kit, it's just a cable extension kit from Asia Horse. They're like 40 bucks on Amazon. The motherboard, it's the ASRock X870 Pro RS Wi-Fi. What on earth is a Molex connector, and why did my power supply come with like 8 of them? They all do. It's a very old power cable. You used to see them sometimes on things like optical drives or fans. Sometimes on, I think really old hard drives might have used them occasionally, but I think typically it was like fans and optical drives used them. It's just a very old standard for power cable. All right, I think 3 of these is more than enough. I put these on backwards. That's so dumb of me. You have got to be kidding me. How did I do that? Yeah. Well. It's just wasting more time. What up, Anarchy? Haven't seen you in ages. Well, then you just haven't been here, man. Gotta turn those noties on. Normally not on this late. I mean, if you're trying to save money and like go with a cheaper build, sure. But like, it's not a bad idea to get newer gen parts because it will last longer and you'll have a better upgrade path. I do that, something like that. Okay. Trying to buy used stuff, then yeah, do whatever, but it's not a bad idea to buy newer parts. Some gaming laptop for $580. Enough to buy the essentials, nice. Built a new PC, install all the drivers, but still won't connect to Wi-Fi, just Ethernet. Does your motherboard have a Wi-Fi adapter? Not every motherboard has the capability of connecting to Wi-Fi. If it does, did you install your Wi-Fi your Wi-Fi antenna? No, you cannot have this PC. I don't know why every single stream there's someone who's like, oh, can you just give me this PC for free? As if I just have the money to just give away PCs all the time. It's not how life works, folks. Okay. There's that. All right, let's get our CPU or yeah, CPU cooler out here. It's going good, man. It's going good. Screen came off. It's just magnetic, so it's pretty normal. I'll put it on later. Yeah, I mean, it all just depends on how you're going to use the PC. Like, if all you're doing is gaming with the newer stuff, like, you don't even need an i7. You can get the i5 and do just fine with gaming. I wish people started making left-facing parts. Yeah, there's a couple of cases you can buy that, like, open the other way, or like you can reconfigure them to open the other way. But I don't think there's a big enough market for anyone to want to design to that. It's much more convenient to just change how your desk is oriented. Oh, this has a 9700X in it. I mean, Windows 10, being on Windows 10 shouldn't affect it, but it could be something corrupted with your Windows boot drive or something. Yeah, I mean, if you can, I would just use Ethernet, but it is good to make sure that it works just in case. Take these fans out of here. Get our Corsair fans up here. Does this say thermal right on both sides? Yeah. All right, we're gonna have the toots come down from the right. So if that's coming down from the right, then I want tails to the side. Yeah, or you can just order a PC through me. You don't have, unless you like already have the parts. You're better off just ordering the PC through me, and I buy all the parts, I build it, and then I ship it to you. That's how pretty much everyone buys their PCs from me. Just go to my website, redneckengineer.com. Oh, okay. I mean, I can buy the rest of the parts too. It saves you shipping costs and stuff. And it probably saves you some sales tax. Seeing many air-cooled rigs. Usually just on the really budget builds, but I haven't sold any of those in a minute. And most people ask for the AIOs. Next PC is gonna be a RE build? Yes, sir. Have you tried any of the new Hall Effect keyboards? I have not. I don't really buy new stuff that often for my setup unless I have to. Yeah, you would need special, you wouldn't need special power supply, but you would need special everything else pretty much. Yeah, there's just not that many people asking for them. Oh my gosh, would you stop hitting that? I need to, like, if I could lock that, that'd be great. I think it's because the first time I installed Windows, I used Rufus to configure everything. Yeah, you probably messed something up in Rufus. You can pretty much leave Rufus as default and just like allow for a local account, and then that's it. I wouldn't really mess with much else in it. Yeah, I've used a 14900K in a few builds. It's been a while. I mean, you could check that your like Wi-Fi adapter in your thing is not like disabled or something, like in your device manager. Feel bad for not buying my first PC through Red? You should. You should feel terrible about it. Have you worked with the 14900K? You need a very good 360mm or bigger cooler to keep them cool. Like they create so much heat. The 14900K just creates so much heat. I mean, it's got 24 cores, something like that. Like, there's almost no way to keep it cool if you're doing like a full core like all core load on it. Like, that was something that people talked about, like, as soon as the 14th gen came out. It was like, there is just no good way to keep that thing cool unless you delit it. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. I would have bought through, but not only did I not have all the money, but I wanted the experience. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, building one yourself is different than like buying from somebody else. What up, Richard? How we doing? I was wondering if those were any good. Good to hear. Thermal Hypervision. Yeah, dude, they're pretty sick. Their software is super simple. How do I fix blue screen on your PC? Really depends on what's causing it. It's not a one size fits all sort of thing. What would be the best setup to put in my 2009 Alienware? A whole new PC probably. It's been a minute since I've set up Windows without anything limited experiences. Local account, right? I always use local account. Going to be using two 480mm rads in a custom loop. You better make sure you get like, honestly, like the IHS is kind of like a limiting factor too. It's like if you can delit it, or if you can use like a really good thermal paste, thermal grease, or liquid metal or something to transfer that heat out. You're gonna need it. You removed the plastic label on the cooler? No. I mean, there's no plastic label up here. Did you hear about the new MSI Afterburner issue? I have not yet. What happened to MSI Afterburner? All right. That is all nice and bolted up. Okay. Get some thermal grease on there. It's already on my fingers. Yeah, thermal pads are good, especially if you have a custom loop. I found that if you don't have like a custom loop, it's really hard to find a CPU cooler that provides enough mounting pressure and is stiff enough to actually utilize a like a pad instead of grease or liquid metal or whatever, or thermal paste. This stuff is really nice because it just flows out. You can put as much of this in as you want in there. It's never going to cause any issues. It's very, very liquidy. It's non-conductive, but it does have silver in it. So the conductivity of it is really good. But once you get it on yourself, it's never going away. So there's that. I might put a little bit of alcohol on my rag here and see if I can get more of this off my fingers so I don't get it everywhere else. Even with rubbing alcohol, it takes a bit of scrubbing to get it off. It's crazy. All right, got our thermal grease on there. And I already got a bunch more thermal grease on my glove. How? Nobody knows. But I did. There's a nice wet spot. Now my hand looks like it has glitter on it. Oh my gosh, is it coming off from other spots on my thing here? I swear this stuff is as bad as like actual glitter. Okay, there we go. Got that. Looking for a budget CPU with the performance of the 5500. But with Gen 4 support? What do you mean Gen 4 support? Talking about like PCIe 4? All right, got our nice little screen there. Nice part about this, you can put it in there in any direction, any orientation. Woo! Okay, got our pump fan installed. Okay, there's that. We'll get this guy installed. This is going to control the screen for a CPU cooler. Come on, just pull it off. Remember when I told you it's just magnetic? Well, magnets aren't super strong. Cable's pretty long. I kind of wonder if I could wrap it around the other way. I think I'm going to wrap it around this way with the pump fan cable. Like that. And then I can go down with it all the way down, all the way down to down here where we have, where's our USB headers? Okay. Does this not have an internally? Oh, there it is. They just weren't covered. I was like, I swear this thing had a USB header. There we go. Okay, so there's that. Now we need to get all of our AIO cables connected. Restore point saved you. There you go. I'm not saying that CD keys or anything is bad or Windows Markdown keys, but in reality, you're taking a risk and not buying a legitimate from Windows. Yeah, that's true. You just bought this case? Nice. It's an awesome case. We've used it in at least the black version in several builds now. This is my first time using the white one, but it looks just as good in white, if not better. Always love a good clean white build. All right, and then we got a CPU fan here. Okay, so there's our fan connection. Let's get our RGB connected here. Okay, then we need to run that out to the side. Actually, we could run it through the top. It would look fine going through the top. Go. Yeah, we're very after hours. The last part for this build showed up pretty late, but I need to have it like ready for the customer by Wednesday. So I didn't have much chance. I'd have to look up what CPUs support Gen 4 PCIe, to be honest. Personally, I would go like a 7400F or something and get yourself on the AM5 platform. You'll be locked out of settings that involve modifying Windows. That's only if you don't actually activate Windows at all. How do I reinstall Windows on the USB drive? You just create new installation media. Then yeah, I don't have a good answer for you at the moment because I don't know off the top of my head what CPUs support Gen 4 speeds. What are the parts of this computer? Type exclamation point specs, Fuzzy, or Fuzzy. Okay. There's that. Okay, got that nice and cleaned up there. Trying to make this look nice and clean back here so it doesn't just look like a big bundle of random wires all around. Okay. Okay, let's get our power supply in here with the rest of our cables. Yeah, you can follow my tips all you want. Bought Windows Home for $200. Jeez. It's not supposed to be that expensive. All right. PCIe power, need that. Don't need SATAs. We need one CPU power, and another PCIe power, motherboard power. And that is all we need. Don't need the rest of that right now. Why buy when you can YOLD pirate? It's a great question. You wouldn't steal a car, would you? If anyone gets that, then they're at least a millennial. I'm in the US. I live in Idaho. They would steal cars. Will I give you a salute to Brazil? I don't know about a salute. I will say hi to people in Brazil. And appreciate you being in here. Salute seems kind of weird. What up, Hatfield? Got a Windows 11 Pro for like 28 bucks? Exactly. Exactly. Ezzy, this case is the Corsair 3500X ARGB, which means it comes with some RGB fans pre-installed. I remember that, and I'm Gen Z. I guess you could have caught the tail end of seeing that on every like video you watch. I mean, like every DVD that we had back in the day, and I think sometimes even other stuff had that at the beginning of the credits. Yeah, you have to update registries to prevent automatically updating Windows 11. Yeah, it's kind of dumb. It's probably not worth the effort. Okay, so motherboard here. Okay. There we go. Okay. We got our CPU power here. We can run all this stuff back through. Okay. That. Okay. Got that. Okay. And then let's get our GPU in there and run our GPU cables. And then we're basically done. Put the top back on. Other than durability, have you noticed any significant difference between high-end power supplies and budget? Yeah, I think just durability and quality of like the niceness of like the cables and stuff. Yeah, their long-term viability is definitely the biggest part. All you need is a good PC anyways. Even though you won't have most choice of parts, it comes at a greatly reduced cost. Do I have to reinstall Windows 11 when upgrading an AMD CPU? Depends on if you're jumping from AM4 to AM5, then yeah, you definitely have to fully reinstall Windows. Or if you jump from Intel to AMD, you're gonna have to fully reinstall Windows, not just like a factory reset sort of thing. Like you have to completely reinstall it. And realistically, if you've had your PC for a couple of years and you've never reinstalled Windows, you should do it anyways. It's good to reinstall Windows every now and then. Get rid of all the leftovers from all the years of Windows updates and nonsense. Gotta run. All right, see you later, Kyle. Appreciate you hopping in, man. It's a good looking GPU, you're right. It is a good looking GPU. Fun fact, I was following a budget build of $1,000 from YouTube in Canada. It turned into $2,250. Not budget anymore. Same parts, same everything except the price. Oh my God. That's crazy. Thought prices in the US were bad. Okay, there we go. Pretty white GPU in there. Well. Come on. Okay, got that. Now we'll lift up our GPU support. Oh. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay. Pull all of our plugs back in. Okay. First, I want to fix these guys because they're driving me nuts. Gotta face them the right way. How to choose a PSU for my PC? Well, it depends on wattage. I mean, you could go to like PC Part Picker or Seasonic's PSU calculator or Neweg's PSU calculator, put all your components in, and it'll give you a recommendation for power supply size. Four. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 4 should be good. So these are gonna go this way. Okay. Got my drivers and updated my registries. Hopefully the Wi-Fi works. Hopefully. You gonna flash it with the 9070 XT BIOS for him? No, we're not doing that. Just putting the standard 9070 driver on it. He can do whatever he wants after that. All right. Got that. Try to make sure these are at the same spot. Keep them nice and clean. Next time I'm gonna buy cable extensions that already have these things on them. This is ridiculous. Good night, everyone. All right, have a good night. Can I have a suggestion for a 650 to 750 watt power supply? Seasonic, Corsair, ASRock, thermal take. Just make sure it's rated for 80 plus gold and ideally fully modular, and you will not be upset. My drivers still don't work. Everything online says updating Windows 11. Installing those drivers. I think it's probably something to do with your Rufus, or it's like the drive or the adapter is disabled or something. Is there an RGB cable for this? Because it has an ARGB header. Nope. That's really weird. we've got ASRock for this and ASRock for the GPU or the motherboard. So I'm hoping that the motherboard RGB can control it. I think we need more of these combs. And I think I also want to go this way. So maybe 2 more combs each if I have enough. I have 2 more combs. Nope, just 2 more combs, so I might have to spread these out a little more. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay. Okay. And this guy, I think I can just stick one zip tie all the way down there. There we go. And there it is. So, back looking pretty clean, especially for having cable extensions in there. Close that up. And then there's the front, also looking pretty clean. Those nice cable extensions. pretty clean. I think we can put a zip tie there too. I know I'm going a little zip tie happy here today, but I want this to look real good. Come on. Don't worry about that. There. Now those look nice and clean together. All right, what do we think, chat? What do we think? How's that? How's that for a build? Will 57 be good for ultra wide gaming? 1440p? Yeah, it should do fine. Especially if you want to use like DLSS and stuff. Looks fire, Richard. I've seen people benchmark the GPU and it shows good results. Yeah, it's not a bad little budget card. 5700 XT. I think it's to sync with the motherboard. Yeah, I'm just surprised they have that to sync with the motherboard, but then they don't give you a cable to sync it to the motherboard. Bluetooth does work. Gonna go to bed because you're tired? Smart. Oh, interesting. All right, y'all. Let's see your favorite emojis in the chat. I'm tired. I haven't eaten dinner yet. It's 9:30. I want to go home and eat dinner and go to bed. So, favorite emojis in the chat right now. No fanfare. Nothing. Just want them in the chat right now. See him. Mean Dean, love it. Richard already put the fire emojis in twice now. Caught again, building another. Nice. I'm gonna do that, thanks. Plus my USB is already a bootable Kali Linux drive. All right, y'all. I should probably bring the lights down a little bit though. It's a little bright. It's gonna be extra bright soon too. All right. First ever power on the all white first 9070 Redneck PC. Here it is. Looks pretty good. It's got an LCD screen on it. Freaking sweet. I wonder if I can tighten those up a little bit. Got a couple more of these white zip ties in here. Could probably try. Without hopefully nicking my finger on a fan. Yeah, that looks nice. there we go. What do we think, folks? Icy blue on the fans looked really good. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do ice blue on everything. GPU is perfect size for that case. Yeah, dude, nice little 3-fan GPU. Looks great. Looks great. All right, y'all. As much as I would love to stick around and chat, I am starving. I haven't eaten since lunch, which was like 7 hours ago. And it's almost my bedtime. So I think we're gonna call it here. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for sticking around till the end. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you on the next one. Okay, bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye bye bye.